Hello everybody, I am THEREKTREX and welcome to episode 5 of Let's Build Jurassic Park in Minecraft. In today's episode, we are going to be building the DILOPHOSAURUS enclosure over here. But before we do that, I forgot to show you guys two changes in the last episode, which I want to show right now. The first change is that all the signs on all the gates were made out of bamboo, but now they are made out of pale oak signs. The second change is the door which leads to the outdoor dining area was originally oak door, but now it's dark oak door. One last thing, I am pre-recording this episode because I don't want you guys to wait months for another episode. So I don't know what was commented on the previous episode because it's still not uploaded. So I will get to the comments from the previous episode and this episode in the next episode. That was a lot of episodes. Alrighty, now let's start building the DILOPHOSAURUS enclosure. First, let's build the fence. We'll be using andesite walls, iron bars, redstone torches and pale oak signs to build it. Hi, the editor Rex here. Later in the video, I replace all the iron bars with chains. So if you guys are following along, use chains instead of iron bars. The bottom of the fence is going to be made out of andesite walls and is going to be 11 blocks long. There are going to be 2 pillars at the ends of the fence, which will also be made out of andesite walls and are going to be 9 blocks tall, including the bottom andesite walls. Hi, the editor Rex here once again. As I said just a minute ago, if you guys are following along, use chains instead of iron bars, and instead of placing the chains alternatingly like I am doing here with the iron bars, fill the entire fence with chains except for the very top row. I'll put up an image on the screen right now so you guys understand what I'm saying because I suck at explaining, but basically there should be 7 rows of chains between the pillars. Place redstone torches on top of the pillars, add the danger 10,000 volts sign, and with that added, the first piece of fence is complete. Alrighty, the first row of fence is complete. There are 9 fence pieces in total. Now let's build the second row of fence. If anything's in the way of the fence, like this tree here, we'll remove it because we don't want the fence to break or not function like it's not supposed to. Wait, no, like it's supposed to. Okay, there we go. And if the terrain's in the way, like here, I'll try to terraform without ruining the natural beauty of the terrain. Okie dokie, the second row of fence is complete. There are 7 fence pieces in total. I wanted to build 9 so this enclosure would be a square, but couldn't because of the terrain, so I'm going with 7. Now let's build the other 2 rows of fence. The other 2 rows of fence are complete. Let's terraform the inside and the outside of the fence a bit so the terrain looks a little bit better. We're going to need a way for MVUs and ranger teams to get in and out of the enclosure. So we're going to build a ranger gate like the ones from Jurassic World Evolution, specifically the Jurassic Park ranger gate. We'll be building it over here and it will replace these 2 fence pieces. These are all the blocks we'll be using to build the gate. First, let's break these 2 fence pieces. Next, let's build 11 blocks tall pillars out of polished andesite at the ends of the fence pieces. We'll build another one in the middle of the two we just built. Let's place a stone button here and here. Now let's build the gate. For the irony, metallic, steely outline thingy of the gate, we'll be using polished tuff. For the maroony part of the gate, we'll be using mangrove planks. As usual, we'll go with a pale oak sign for, well, the sign. This lights my favorite part of the gate because it gave me a story. Imagine it's night, one of the MVUs outside the gate waiting for it to open so they can check up on the dilos. After they're inside the enclosure, for some reason, the gate malfunctions and doesn't close. The dilos notice that and start walking towards the gate. One of them stops right below this light and stares at you, but you can't see its eyes because its crests form a shadow where its eyes are. That is such a scary scene in my mind, but also cool, like really cool. One day I'm gonna draw that and I'm gonna post it somewhere. But man, I am the next Steven Spielberg. These lights are my second favorite part of the gate. These are the lights that flash when the gate's opening and closing. We'll be using glow item frames, red concrete and green concrete to build them. For the part which the gate slides into, once again, we'll be using polished tuff for the outline thingy as well as for the X in the center. The rest we'll fill with iron blocks. Let's add a row of iron bars over here so no one can climb over the gate and jump into the dilo enclosure. I don't know why someone would do that, but you never know. Anyway, the ranger gate is complete. I know this gate design isn't 100% accurate to the one from Jurassic World Evolution, but as I used to say back in the Let's Build a Zoo days, this is Minecraft. We gotta work with what we have and the scale in which we are building. This is the best possible design I could come up with, which didn't look bad to my eyes. But if you guys have suggestions on how I could improve this gate design, let me know. Okay, I was rewatching the scene where the guests go in front of the dilo enclosure to see if I missed anything, and turns out I did. I missed the caution, keep windows up sign. So we're going to add one here, here, and here. It's the little details like those that make me really happy. Imagine you're one of the guests going in front of the dilo enclosure. You read one of the signs and it makes you wonder why you need to keep the windows up. It's so ominous, I love it. This seems like the perfect spot to place water, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. When I looked up what kind of an environment Dilophosaurus lived in, I got confused. But basically, what I understood was they didn't live in a specific environment. Instead, they lived in a mixed environment or in an environment that changed according to seasons. basically both dry and wet environments. So we are going to add a few different biomes to the enclosure so that the environment within the enclosure is diverse. Also, please correct me if I'm wrong about Dilophosaurus's environment. Let's start by replacing the grass blocks around the water with sand. We are going to replace the short grass and tall grass with short dry grass and tall dry grass so that the sandy area doesn't look plain. This is probably going to be my favorite part of this enclosure. I don't know what it is about the blue water and the bright sand, but they look appealing together. This is my first time using dry grasses and they look so good. They add a lot without being too much, if that makes sense. Hi, THEREKTREX here for the third time. I've never had to appear these many times before. Anyway, this is where I start replacing all the iron bars with chains. I'm glad I did that because now we'll have a better view of the dilos. Before I did that, I thought of building viewing platforms, but now that's not a necessity. I had forgotten to add back the "Caution, keep windows up" signs after replacing all the iron bars with chains. I added them back at the end. Let's build a few stone platforms for the dilos to chill on, kinda like Pride Rock from The Lion King, except these stone platforms are gonna be on the ground and less formal. I'm gonna use the World Builder add-on to texture the stone platforms with andesite. The thing about me using the World Builder add-on is it makes me feel like the Minecraft builder equivalent of an AI artist. I know it's not the same, but I feel like I should be texturing this on my own without using the add-on, but this add-on saves me so much time. This is how the stone platforms look. I use the terrain that they are on and the terrain around them to shape them. Pretty smart if you ask me. I want the area around the stone platforms to have a muddy look, so I'm gonna replace the grass blocks and the grasses with chorus dirt and dead bushes. So, I removed all the dead bushes and replaced the blocks the dead bushes were on with packed mud, so if you are following along, you know what to do. The last biome we are going to add is the forest biome. I have a mental image of how I want this forest to look, but to make that mental image a reality, I already know it's going to be difficult and it's going to take hours because I suck at building organically and organic shapes. So, I'm gonna meet you guys after I've planted all the trees because I am not recording a 24 hours long clip. This forest is 65 million years in the making. Each sapling placed meticulously. All I'm gonna say is, there was a lot of placing and breaking of trees. Let's add a few bushes so the forest looks foresty. I know in the movie, we didn't see a live bait feeder inside the dilo enclosure, but I wanna have one inside every carnivore enclosure. We spared no expense. I am building this one in an open area so the dilos have enough space to run around and hunt the goat. At least that's the illusion we want to give to the guests, because we are going to place barriers around the goat so it doesn't get killed by the dilos, because I don't want to keep replacing this goat. We are sparing as many expenses as we can with this one. Finally, it's time to add the dilos. We are going to add 7 adult female dilos. Why 7? Because we don't know exactly how many dilos were there in the movie version of Jurassic Park, but we do know how many were there in the novel version of Jurassic Park, which were 7. we're gonna be adding the dilos from the Paleocraft Dinosaur Breakout add-on. The purple ones are males and we're gonna get some babies as well. But we don't want the males and the babies. So alright, now that the enclosure is complete, let's go over it. First of all, I wasn't expecting the enclosure to look this good, especially these two biome thingies since they weren't planned. I made them up along the way as we built the enclosure, and I'm glad I did because they look really good and they change up how the enclosure looks. Now, I don't know if dinosaurs took dirt and sand baths like birds do today. If I had to guess, they probably did. If they did, they have plenty of sand to do that. This, as I said, is an area for the dilos to chill, sit, sleep, take a sun bath, or if they don't want dirt all over their food, they can bring it over here and eat it. This looks like a dining table. Might as well use it like a dining table. This forest took so long, but it's worth it. Let me show you guys the view. There we go. This is the exact view of the forest I wanted, and I'm glad I was able to achieve it. I know this is just a game, but I spent a lot of time thinking about where to place these trees because I wanted to provide a safe space for these dilos. Because in real life, animals need spaces where they feel safe. They need spaces to go to when they're afraid of something. So I wanted to provide those spaces for these animals. So I spent a lot of time thinking about how I can place these trees in a way where, first of all, they are not banging their heads every 5 seconds walking through the forest, and two, the trees block the heat during the day and the cold during the night. Once again, I know this is just a game, but I really wanted to immerse myself into this world and provide a decent space for these animals. For example, this is a good spot for them to sleep because there's plenty of space, the leaves will block the heat from the sun, and the trees will block the cold wind during night. I don't know if that's how nature works, but that's what I went with. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section because I will just look like an idiot. This is another good spot for the dilos to chill at, and there's already one over here. This gap over here is on purpose because I wanted the visitors to see the dilos walking from this part of the forest to this part of the forest. Or, the other way around. We already have... Oh, yes! Yes! It's actually doing it! Oh my god, look at that shot. Okay, I think they're stuck, but you get the idea. Kind of like the shot from Jurassic World Dominion. I swear to god, that's the only good thing to come out of that movie. I wish I could build a working gate, but I am no mumbo jumbo, so we will have to go with this gate design. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. I might add a few branches and fallen logs here and there, but that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Here is a closer look of the DILOPHOSAURUS in case you wanted a closer look. Stop turning away, man. I lied. There is something I want to talk about. If you guys watched my Let's Build a Zoo series, you would know I was the #1 hater of flowers inside my enclosures. I would remove every single flower inside my enclosures. But I'm a changed man. It's been what? Almost 5 years since Let's Build a Zoo. So first of all, please stop asking me if I will bring it back. Probably not. Unless my channel stops growing and I stop earning money. But yeah, we will be keeping the flowers inside the enclosures. Alright. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will meet you guys in the next episode. And until next time, keep working hard, never give up, and goodbye. Say bye. Say bye, Dilo.